America are and what planet they're from. I don't know. Right now, I just know about the people west of the Mississippi, and those are primarily, again, the descendants of the Dakota people.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, Tolec. Have you heard of the Anishinaabe or the Zuni?
Oh, yes. Yes. Matter of fact, I myself have some absolutely beautiful turquoise and silver jewelry made by the Zuni, actually passed down by my dad. And the Anishinaabe I've heard of. I don't know of any of their traditions or cultures, but I will say quite honestly that based on everything that I've seen, almost all of the Native American people consider themselves to be ancestors of people from the stars, pretty universally. And they all take great care to pay attention to their spiritual origins. And when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about God per se. They talk about God as in being the great mystery, Wakantanka, source, the creator. I guess the creator is the best way to express that. But when they talk about spirituality, they're talking about their core spiritual essence from when they were born a long time ago. Not the bodies that we're all wearing, not the physical 3D thing that we wear, but who they are as people when they were birthed a long time ago, what their spiritual essence is all about. So they're quite well aware of star people, star ancestors, the importance of the Creator, as well as their own spiritual essence.
Indeed, indeed. One last question for you, Tolec.
Sure.
Can you tell me what star systems are comprised of the Andromeda Council, please?
What star systems? Okay. Let's see. Here we go. I'll take it from the top, and since I don't have this memorized, I'll simply go to the second page of the Andromeda Council website. The star systems include Arcturus, Antares, M103, Procyon, Vega, Capella, Polaris, Sirius A, Deneb, Tau Ceti, Alhena, and Betelgeuse. And there is an Andromeda Council ambassador from the home planet of each of those star systems.
Hi, Tolec, and this is Heather, and thank you for sharing that. I have a quick question for you. I want to know, how do you receive this information?
Okay, good question. There are a number of modalities, ways that I receive the information. These days, primarily, it's telepathically. And what that means is, from my mind, my thoughts, to either Tonka, the spiritual ambassador to the Andromeda Council, to Tanya, the vice chairwoman, to the commander of primary Andromeda Council Biosphere. These days, primarily, it's telepathy. It also has to do with, in the dream state, my fourth dimensional spirit form, my fourth dimensional spirit goes from here on Earth up to the Andromeda Council Biosphere, and I attend a number of meetings, so I learn a lot of information up there. I also get the information while I'm dreaming in the dream state, as well as snapshot visions. They are quick visual experiences that last about a second to a second and a half, where I'll see something, and then I get a chance to ask about it. There's another form, though it's much less subtle, and it'll come through when I'm writing. And I remember one time I was providing an extensive answer to someone, and I was writing this answer, and at the end of it I said, "And so it shall be." And I went, "Wow, that's interesting. I don't speak that way." Well, those words of "and so it shall be" were either coming from them or some form of my higher self. So it's like I said, I get it in about 4 or 5 different modalities.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because when I had read about the automatic writing process as being one of the ways that you receive the information, I went to myself, what does automatic writing mean? So you just clarified my next question of what that was.
Yeah, it's more subtle.
Through your hands.
Yeah, it's more subtle. It's much more subtle. It's a situation where I'll start writing, and there's a level of intelligence or knowing about something that my third-dimensional brain, not my mind, but my third-dimensional brain wouldn't normally have. So it's coming from a higher source. And like I said, it's much more nuanced. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And just one quick follow-up, because I know Antara's just has a wonderful question for you. But with this process in the writing, like say you're writing a letter or something, or answering a question, I mean, when you're finished and then you look to what you wrote, do you feel like you were in sort of, would you describe it as sort of, some might say sort of a right-brained state of thinking, like you sort of lost yourself within the own work and then had to go back to read what you wrote, or you feel like you're pretty conscious of it, if that makes any sense?
Yeah. When I'm writing and it's starting to come through like that, I honestly don't analyze what I'm writing when I'm writing it. I've been in the computer industry for a long time, so what I'm trying to say is, me being on a keyboard is a pretty comfortable thing. I'm pretty quick, so the fingers are flowing. I'm not one of these guys that does index finger, forefinger, index finger. I'm completely I grew up playing the piano. I'm completely dexterous. I have complete dexterity on a computer keyboard and a laptop, which I use. So I'm not analyzing and thinking about what I'm writing when I'm writing it. The knowledge is just coming through. So it's either knowledge I have, or it's knowledge that's coming from upstairs.
A higher self. Yeah, you know why I was wondering, and I'm just going to mention this, and then I'll turn it over to Antara, because I want to get into this later in the show, is because I see that as a kind of a creative process that's going on. And some people have described being in that process, sort of being in a different state of awareness, whether that's, typing, writing, or just any sort of creative, process, playing the piano, and things just kind of come through. So I want to talk about that later, but that's why I was asking that question, because the process itself, to me, is interesting. So, so Antara, thank you, Tolec. Thank you for answering that.
Oh, sure, my pleasure.
Well, we can just always go in a million directions, but I want to just kind of backtrack a little bit here. Something that came up when you mentioned the biospheres being the size of Pluto, some larger, some smaller. What that made me think of is those videos that are coming, that the different satellites that circle the sun keep showing these strange round ships or orbs or all these ship-like objects coming and going. So would that be in a biosphere, possibly?
Well, all right. This topic has multiple answers, and I've just answered them recently, like within the past 3 or 4 days, on the frequently asked questions page of the website. But I'm happy to do it. I'll take them one at a time. Okay. The sun is not exactly what we think it is. Yes, it's a yellow-white star, for lack of a better description, as we would see it. But it also phases in and out, and it is becoming a higher dimensional celestial body. Right. The first answer. The second answer is that the sun acts as it itself acts as an interdimensional portal or interdimensional gateway. And therefore, there are a lot of interdimensional ships coming into our solar system and exiting out through our sun. That's number 2. Number 3, people have gotten all excited and seen a large sort of, I'm not a mathematician, so forgive me, a large, skinny rectangle taking up about a third of the sun, with the horizontal part being at the bottom of the sun, reaching to the point almost at the top.
Right.
This is an interdimensional portal. Now, it's a really big one, but it's only a portal. It's just a gateway from our solar system space to another place. Are there ships coming through? Yes. Are people seeing ships around the sun? Yes. Last week, there was it looked like a disk or a sphere about the size of, I don't know, Jupiter or Saturn, with what seemed to be an umbilical cord attached. At the lower left-hand corner on a clock face, it would look to be about 7 o'clock in location. That was a protected vis-a-vis, I need a sci-fi reference, a force field. That was highly protected vis-a-vis a force field, which is why it showed up black. It was a biosphere, and it was specifically there to inject more helium into the sun to do 2 things: to help stabilize in the process of it becoming a more fourth-dimensional, higher vibrational star, and 2, because in order to do that, it needs more helium. It was using helium. It was injecting additional helium to help in the stabilization process. Last topic, and this is all relevant. People have been thinking they've been seeing planets or moons at different parts of our globe. Up at the North Pole, the top of our globe, down at the South Pole, the bottom of our globe, the far west and the far east, if you will, there are scientific space stations that are Andromeda Council-flagged biospheres, on loan from Jupiter, I may add, with about 200 plus or minus scientists on each that are monitoring and measuring the rate of change of the sun, as well as the rate of the change and all of the different permutations in between of Earth. They're watching and monitoring and measuring the whole evolution process that's going on right now. So you have essentially 4 Andromeda Council biospheres, good size, from Jupiter on loan with scientists installed that are measuring all these things going on at all 4 corners of the globe, north, south, east, west.
Oh, my gosh.
That's my answer.
Oh, that's so rich.
Next. You asked.
You just shoot them down. So, like,
We asked.
But now, hold on. I have to ask this. We're all chomping at the bit here, sorry. Did you say that they've been seen? They've been, those biospheres at the poles and the 4 corners have been seen?
Yes. Yes. I've had people ask me about, hey, Tolec, what's this ship at the bottom of the South Pole? Hey, Tolec, I'm seeing something on the eastern seaboard of the U.S. It's just on the horizon when the sun comes up in the morning and then it goes away. People from the Arctic, so people are seeing these things. So they're real.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All of us have so many questions, but the callers are, as you predicted, fairly swamped with questions. And I've got a couple from Facebook that I want to put out here. One is from Ben Seaton Clerk. He wants to know, what is the difference going to 4D and astral projection? Does this mean we have control on what we look like? And his second question, which I think is equally